What's up? It's Keith Kelfis with the Untrapped Alliance. I'm sorry, the Untrapped Podcast. The Untrapped Alliance is my group that's after this. I got Naylor Taliaferro from LCR Media, and we've been friends for like 15 years or something, bro. Forever now. And it's the spring rush. So everybody's busy. I got the phone ringing off the hook, the emails, trying to do 20 things at once, but we can manage it because we're seasoned. So we're going to talk about the spring rush, increasing profits in your business. Naylor's nice and calm. I rushed in the door in the studio to be on this podcast, and we got landscape jobs going on right now. I'm like, "What's up, Naylor?" Just barely made it on time, and he's like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" He's just always calm. That's what I love about Naylor, man. Is you're calm and collected. So, what's up, brother?
What's up, my man? Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate you having the time to get me back on the podcast. I'm grateful for the opportunity, but I get it because I'm always running and gunning too. I almost was that today, but I it started to rain, so I'm like, you know what? Let's just stop a little short. I think this is a sign, right? Like, give me enough time to get home and get all set up because I wasn't going to go to my studio. So at home, I have to kind of get things set up. I don't always leave things like this, because it's a home office and my wife uses it and whatnot. So, but anyway, so I'm like, let me just make sure I have enough time. So I get it. I'm super understanding. I'm probably the most understanding person that you probably ever encounter when this situation.
Love it, bro. So, what's on your mind?
Well, speaking of spring rush, right? Because we are rushing around. It's super busy. You're busy. I'm busy. Those that are listening and watching are hopefully busy. It's the spring rush. It's a critical time. What's up, bros? It's a critical time, right? The spring rush can either make you or break you. And I just feel like a lot of us just go through spring just with our head down, plowing through it. And even if we had a plan when we first started, we don't necessarily stick to the plan, right? It kind of all starts falling apart. And it's just one of those things that we don't know what we don't know. And if we don't have, if we don't set it up in such a way that we can be as successful as possible through the spring rush, we'll get crushed by the spring rush, right? I mean, I had a whole webinar like a month or two ago about how to not get crushed by the spring rush, to try and help whoever signed up for that call, to give them, some tips. Myself, John Pajak, Eric Triplett, we all got on and gave our tips from decades of experience. I have over a decade, they've had decades. So collectively we could share a thing or two about a thing or two and hopefully shorten the learning curve when it comes to the struggle bus of the spring rush, because like I said, it can make or break you. And for far too long the spring rush dominated my life. Like I left the corporate world, the 9 to 5 corporate world 12 years ago, and so that I could have a better life and get more time back in my life, and reconnect with my family and repair my marriage and get my sanity back. I was a really depressed version of myself, like literally depressed shell of myself. Didn't recognize myself, like, so I had to like bail out and start over, and this business really helped me solve that. But quickly with the spring rush, it turned into that feeling. Like the spring rush for years and years felt like how I felt in corporate America during like every busy holiday and, crazy weekend sales. It felt exactly the same, and it really stressed me out. And year after year after year, that compounded. And while it was only one season, the remnants of it kind of lasted all summer. Like it kind of took until the end of the year before I kind of got, my flow going again, and my mojo, if you will. And unfortunately, the people that suffer the most is the people that I was trying to repair the damage from corporate, right? Like my wife, my kids, like, so the spring rush was kind of bringing me back to those parts that were not desirable of myself, and I'd just be all angry and frustrated and head down. And then when I had employees, I was trying not to impact them, and it can just turn into a whole bad scenario that if you as the leader and the business owner, whether you're by yourself or you have crews, you are still going to interact with someone in your life. Whether if you have a spouse, if you have kids, if you have neighbors, if you go to the store, your community, like, just think about that. I mean, you can impact so many people in your life, intentionally or unintentionally. So you really need to wrap your head around that. And the more people that you are around, you have employees, you have a spouse, you have kids, you have a big family, neighbors, all that. You can really create a lot of damage if you're damaged. So just think about how you can fix all that. And it took some time for me, but I definitely figured it out, because I mean, I'm about to go on a 2-week vacation in a couple of weeks, and it's still, I guess, would technically be the spring rush, but whatever. I don't know the difference. It's my 25th wedding anniversary, so my wife and I are going on a cruise around Europe, so it's going to be a fun time. So, but nothing's going to skip a beat on my end here. We're still going to keep rolling, because I set my business up in such a way that I don't have to worry about that. So, but it took some time for sure. I had to take my lumps.
Take your lumps, he said.
Yeah.
I see the comments rolling in. Well, let me just get to them real quick.
Yeah, go right ahead. Let's go. Let's give these folks some value. Oh, now I see him.
Care. What's up, bros? He says, what's up, Keith? This is Hugo with H&J Lawn Care. Did you end up buying that cologne? I remember this conversation. Somebody recommended a cologne, and I did buy a couple colognes. I want to know which one it is, because I'm the type of dude. I'll be like, hey, I don't mean to sound weird, bro. What is that cologne?
Right.
Like, oh, bro, that's just Sauvage, or that's this or that. I'm like, then I'll tell my wife at Christmas, and she'll get it for me. It's like, right. Anyways, I love cologne. Okay, In and Out Lawns. What was that?
You skipped over a really good one. There you go.
Carson Hoffman says, what are the mental blocks that allowed you to overcome the overwhelming workload you may experience during the spring rush?
Yeah, that's great. Well, a couple of things. I'm glad someone asked this. The first and foremost thing is I had to focus on creating boundaries in my schedule and boundaries in my bank account, because you can easily bleed your money, your bank account's dry in the spring rush, because it's so busy and you need this, you need that. This is breaking, that's breaking. You're hiring this person, that person. You got all these leads coming in. And if you don't have a system in place to help you kind of organize all that, you don't know what you're spending, when you're spending, where you're spending it, how much you're spending, all that, as well as your time. Like, your schedule is just a mess, and you're working all day, every day. And you think, well, we got to hustle and grind, right? That's what everybody says, and it's the spring, get it while you can. And I get all that. I get it. But I will tell you one thing. Nobody will say on their deathbed, I wish I hustled and grinded more. What you will wish is, what you'll say is, I wish I had more time, right? I wish I said this or said that, or did this or did that. I wish I didn't do this or do that. So I know that's kind of like an end game thought, but many people have said stuff like that, and it puts things into perspective. And for me, like I said, I came from corporate 9-to-5 work, and so that was my advantage, right? I was depressed and miserable, and I had to get my life back. So I just kind of figured these things out as quickly as possible. But the biggest thing was creating boundaries. Like, for example, not working past 6, or not starting a job past 6. So like, say we have a big, we're doing a mulch job. We start in the afternoon, and it's just taking forever, and we don't get done until 6:30 or something. That's fine. But I'm not going to start something after 6, right? Even if it's just a lawn that's going to take 30 minutes, like, nope, no, we're not going to start at 6. So this was a boundary. It's this way I could be home, and my team could be home at a reasonable time with their family. It is the spring. We are working more. It's raining. There's all kinds of things going on that interrupt the flow of your schedule. But if you don't have some boundaries like that, for one of many examples, that is going to just, your schedule will own you instead of you owning it. One other thing about time that I don't know if anyone will really thought this way, but back to the hustle and grind. What the one realization I had is, time is not the same as money. So when people say time is money, come on, we got to go. Time is money. Time is money. That's literally the biggest and most expensive lie that you'll ever buy. Why? Why is that? Because you can always make money, but you can never make time. Ever. No one can make time. Time cannot be created. It exists, right? We exist in space and time, right? Space is the planet, which we have minimal control over, and time is what we are what we navigate through, right? Everyone has the same 24 hours in the day. The billionaire and the beggar both have 24 hours. They might not have the same skills, they might not have the same mindset, they might not have the same tools, but they all have the same access to 24 hours because it's free. We all have time is here. No one owns the time. They might own your time, but they don't own time. So are you going to, so time is always being assigned. Like it just goes, right? It's just constantly flowing and we're just going along for the ride. So it's always being assigned, but do you want to be assigned by default or by design? So do you want your time to just be assigned just on its own? Like for like, you wake up and you go on your phone and you're checking notifications and an hour's gone out of your day and you weren't intentional. You didn't design your time properly versus getting up and having a specific routine that you're going to do. That is, designing your time or assigning your time by design instead of it just being by default. So when you wrap your head around that and you start prioritizing your time, you start charging more because you're worth more, your time is worth more, and you start putting boundaries around your schedule. I'm not going to work all day every day. I'm not going to take on every job everywhere. I'm going to be home for dinner. I'm not going to work every weekend. I'm not going to stress myself out. So creating boundaries was really the biggest way for me to get a handle on all of this. And then everything changed. And it seems like, okay, there's a lot of people working like crazy and you think, well, maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to charge this. Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to work all day every day. But you're not them and you don't know their situation. Focus on you and your situation and your time. And you're still going to make money. Trust me. You're going to usually make more money when you have boundaries, when you have you know how much time, you're how much money you're making and how much money you're spending and where, and then how much time you're taking to do everything. So that's, without going too crazy down rabbit holes, hopefully that helps answer that question, Carson. But it's essentially creating boundaries for your time and your money. You're just laughing it up over there.
Man, just when you talk, bro, it's like therapeutic. That's why I'm smiling, because I'm happy, because I have this whole sub communication thing, like it's a conversation going on in my head with everything that you're saying, because I'm interviewing you, and people who are watching on the show, I'm smiling the whole time he's talking, and people who know me, they just get me, but people who are new, they're like, why is this dude laughing? All right. Klein Lawn Care Snow Plowing. What is the most effective way a lawn care landscape business owner that makes less than $1 million does an annual revenue can do to buy back their time?
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. What do you have anything to say, Keith? It doesn't have to just be about me. We're here to give value all the way around.
Yeah, bro. I think that you should answer that, because I'm in a place of, I'm full circle at a place in my life and business where I'm in like this place of gratitude. So it's like I am super excited about the business. Then like you get like the 5-year itch is where you hate your business and you want to do something else. Something's wrong with the industry. Like you have all the reasons why you want the hell out of this business. It happens around the 5-year mark. And then you can quit or change something or surrender or fix it. And then you can go back up. I've been through so many ups and downs that I'm at this place now where I just literally love my business and it's a game to me. So it doesn't matter. Of course, I miss my family. I miss my wife and my dogs, and but when I'm at work. But dude, I love my business. I love being at work. I don't see time the same way anymore. It doesn't constrain me the same. So whether we're in the middle of the spring rush or I'm at home or I'm at work, it literally doesn't matter to me, because I am here now. Like some people, like this is kind of interesting to some people. Don't like, why would I shower? I'm going to go landscape all day. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you? You are alive, living your life every moment. Would you just go to work because I'm going to get dirty? It was like, I want to be clean and happy while I'm at work, because I'm living my life now. This is my life. And so I'm happy. It's an interesting perspective. So, but if you're talking this way to guys, I mean, we're in the spring rush right now. We're booked all the way out till first, second week of June. I can't get to the customers fast enough. and we just closed it. We're a quote for one job is 17,000. We just did one for 7,500. We're doing right now for 3,000. We got another one for 3,100 that we're doing. Another one for 3,000. So we're just boom, 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 and it doesn't matter to me because I know how to pace myself because I've done it so long. Stan Genetic, the Dirt Monkey, told me one time. He's like, "You only have this many spaces in your calendar this summer. What are you going to put in those spaces? Are you going to scramble and put whatever comes your way and then regret it, or are you going to be?" My friend Joshua Latimer, he talked to me. He taught me you got to cherry pick, and I still didn't understand that. I intellectually understood it, but consciously, my emotional and mental blocks were stopping me from seeing that because I didn't understand that I was in scarcity mindset because my nervous system was operating from an old identity from when I was younger, and I had debt collectors calling me. We had an eviction notice. So when I finally got work and money, it's like, take all you can get. It's almost like you're starving and there's like, you're picking tomatoes or fruit and you're like, I have to, you know, take what I can get, but there's so much abundance everywhere that you can literally sit back with your arms crossed and only pick the shiny golden nuggets, and you can literally cherry pick and be hyper qualifying the customers that you work with. So that's why, well, I kind of answered it, but I didn't. But your nervous
No, yeah,
system tells
that's
you.
yeah, no, that's epic. That's the you nailed it for sure. And I like what you're talking about cherry picking and Stan saying you only have so many spots. What are you going to fill it in with? And that's what it's all about. It's all about the quality and really appreciating your time, your own time, and your own self-worth. But because I had no quality of time, no quality of life in corporate America, when I started my lawn care business, I was obsessed with getting my time back. So that's like 100% like right up my alley, like that. I obsessed with all the ways that I could optimize my time. So in addition to some of the things that I already mentioned, putting system like so boundaries is the biggest thing, right? If you didn't hear me say that, boundaries, creating boundaries, and there's so many different examples that we can go on and on about it. But like I said, boundaries with your bank account, boundaries with your schedule. But you can also optimize your time with systems, right? Whether that be simple systems like CRMs, right? Some people are still using a Google Calendar and pen and paper and things like that, but you can use free trials or free all the way around. Like, some CRMs are free, some are free trial, some are different, obviously different packages. So there's different ones for different people and different budgets and different types of businesses. But having a CRM where where your jobs are scheduled automatically, they're reoccurring, you can see them at a quick glance. There's an app you can access easily. You can invoice and estimate. You can communicate with your customers as well, all on one platform. Market to them, track equipment maintenance, the products that you're using for if you're doing fertilization, weed control, all that, so that you can use that as little or as much as you want as your company expands, grows, or just stays, nice and compact. You can be more efficient by using systems like a CRM, obviously employees, but then what kind of systems are you wrapping around your employees? Like, do you have a set start and stop time? Do you have a quick meeting in the morning to give everyone, a boost of energy and positivity and go over some quick priorities for that day, or things that maybe need to be addressed from previous days? Like, hey, we're kind of falling off on these things. Let's make sure we're trimming those corners properly along all the fences, and blah blah blah. Like all these little details like that matter, and also your company culture that matters, having that connection. And having, I think also the biggest thing is people wait too long to optimize their time, like a phone answering service or a human being, either part-time in their own house, or if you have an office, they're there, and you grow to full-time, and then you have an office manager. But someone answering the phone for you when you get to that point, even if it's just part-time, peak times, whatever it is, there's so many different ways you can figure that out. So that someone's answering your phone and taking information. And maybe even at one point, my wife was actually inputting quotes for me because she could easily just go into the CRM I was using and measure everything out. Like, I trained her on it. She knew how to do it. She still didn't feel 100% comfortable emailing them out, but at least she did all the work. And then all I had to do was just go in and look at them all and double check them and then approve them and then send them out. But then I didn't have to sit there and do it all, right? I could be out doing sales calls and walking properties and working with the guys and all that, while someone in the office, aka my wife or whoever it is for you, it could start there and then become a full-time employee, is doing that, which is going to help get your time back. It's going to help optimize your schedule and your time, as well as, I mean, like, just using the CRM, buying back your time. I mean, like, I would do everything on the fly. Like, I would literally be walking a property and I would pull up the app of the CRM and I would get the customer's information if I didn't already have it. And I would type in, and I would enter in what jobs that they wanted quotes for. And I would put in any information they need right then and there. And then I wouldn't submit it to them right then and there because I want to take a minute to look it over. But then I would go sit in my truck and I look through it, and then I would make sure everything looked good, and I would either send it then or I would just wait till the end of the day and send them all. But I wouldn't do it when I got home or go to the office and stay another hour later or two doing it all. I just did it right then and there while I was still working in my shift. And another way to optimize my time throughout the day was I didn't check my phone constantly. I only checked it 3 times during the work. I checked it first thing in the morning to make sure there was nothing from employees, nothing from urgent customers. Shouldn't be anything personal because my personal's here at home, but I check that before I head to work, make sure there's anything going on, emails, text messages, that sort of thing. And then I check it again. Like, my phone will ring throughout the day. And if I see if it's in my contacts, and it's someone like a customer, like, maybe I'll answer it if I can. If I'm not on a mower or whatever, I'll answer it, see if there's a problem. Otherwise, I'll wait until lunch to follow up on any of those type of call when we go on a lunch break and the guys are fiddling around and doing whatever they're doing, and I'm eating my nice homemade, healthy, nutritious food while they're getting all their sneaky snacks at the 7-Eleven. I'm also on my phone and I'm checking all the notifications. Like, are there any new emails, any new messages I need to follow up on? Not really scrolling through social media that much. Just looking to see what's a priority, calling that customer back, right? And then we go back to work. And then at the end of the shift is when I double check one more time to see if I have anything new going on. And then I will then move those. If it's not something quick, like if it's an estimate or whatever, I'll call them back and schedule a time to walk the property the following day. I'm not going to then go and do that. Like, 24 hours is more than acceptable for any normal person. I can't tell you how many people say, "Oh, thank you for returning my call." Like, are we serious? That's the bar? That's the benchmark? It's just returning a call? So you think that rushing over there and missing dinner because you want to get the sale, like, after a long day, it's 7 o'clock, it's still daylight, let me rush over and get that because I don't want someone else to grab it? You think that by not waiting till the next morning to check that is going to be that critical? You probably didn't want that customer anyway. If you contacted them and had a good conversation, thank you, what are you interested in, appreciate you contacting us, will you be available tomorrow? We can stop by first thing in the morning or in the afternoon. You let us know it's a good time to fit, whatever it looks like for you. Obviously, if it's far away, you got to figure that out. If you're able to detach yourself from the group, if you're the only person or the crew leader, then you have to navigate that a little bit. But the point is, you're communicating that, and now they're probably collecting multiple bids anyway, so they're going to wait, and it's fine, right? Anyone that wants that quick tire kicker, price, you're going to end up being stuck like Chuck in a pickup truck and broke as a joke if you're just rushing around doing all this stuff and letting these people control you and run your business instead of you running your business. So hopefully all of that was helpful.
I love it how you're talking. There's different stages. There's 3 of them. There's Chuck in a Truck, Possibility Pete, and Abundant Anthony. And so there's different languages into each different messaging ecosystem and how you communicate and what you're thinking to calibrate to each level that you're at, whether it be the happy parts of your business or the parts that are making you suffer. And so I'm pulling up my P&L right now on QuickBooks, and I'm looking and I'm comparing this. Okay, so I'm going to throw a couple of rapid fire tips about saving time because he asked that, and we're like giving this long drawn out answer. One is read the book Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Get on audible.com. It's an amazing book. And my biggest takeaway from the book is he said that he's like, "Oh, I'm making some more money. I could go buy a brand new truck or Cadillac, or I could take that money and invest it into an executive assistant to buy back my time." when I read that book, I was like, wait a second, that's a good idea. I already built a team. I have a core team of 10 virtual assistants that help me in my businesses. And so I took and I hired an executive assistant to help me do a whole bunch of stuff. It's basically a higher level person who helps do all the stuff you don't have time for. The next thing you do to buy back your time is take everything that's, pick the number. You say $20 an hour and down, hire it all out. So, or 25 an hour and down. If you can hire somebody to come and clean your house once a week, you can hire, I don't know if you mow your own lawn. I like to mow my lawn. You can hire virtual assistants on upwork.com. I'm hiring another one right now. So like I said, I have 10 of them, and they do all these things that I don't have to do, that I wouldn't have time to do. I have a bookkeeper. You don't have time, unless you love to do it and you have the time to manage all your QuickBooks and make sure all your books are reconciled at the end of the month. And so you can give it to your accountant at the end of the year with a profit and loss statement, a balance sheet. So what you do is just hire a bookkeeper. Go to like a Dan Plata at bestdamnbookkeeping.com, and they have a team and they'll do all your books for you, just like you would have an accountant. With employees, I don't know if you do lawn care, landscaping, whatever you do, even if you have a tiny business, they call it like one truck, big profits, or a couple trucks, you have the employees do literally, I don't know, 90% or 95% of the work. And then if you're in the sales position, you don't have time to do the work. You do the sales and make the customers happy and collect the money and run the CRM. And then you can hire virtual assistants to answer the phones. You can have something like Jill's office if you want a human, or you can use like Jobber's AI virtual AI receptionist to answer the calls and do the calendar while you do all the sales and make the customers happy and make sure that your employees have what they need. That's how you can buy back your time. And then you're not trapped wearing multiple hats, because it's called context switching. When you keep switching your hats and then you got to go home and be with your family, it's exhausting, and it runs you into burnout. So you find out what your superpower is, and you want to get to the point where you just do those one or two things, and then you hire everything else out. But if you can't, expand the top as you dissolve the bottom, and dissolve the things that you hate doing. And that was the most frustrating thing, is like, how do you do that? Where's the money at? Usually if you're stuck doing $15 an hour tasks and you hire somebody to do those things, that frees you up. Your consciousness gets freed up to go, whoa, I'm literally jumping over dollars to get to nickels. You can slow down just a little and calibrate with the customer, spend more time on the proposal, a few more minutes, and you could sell and land. I don't know what size ticket jobs everybody does here, but our average ticket job was only $312.50, and now it's $1,650. And our average job so far this year, I don't know, let's say $3,000 per job. So it's higher ticket, higher profit margin. And so it gives you, I just hired a coach to help me dial in my KPIs. We meet every other Wednesday at 2 to 3 p.m. And this dude's holding me accountable and making me track everything in Jobber. And we have a budget set up for the month. And like, my face was red. I'm like, bro, like, I like this. And he will not let me off the hook. Any of my excuses that come up that try to make excuses, he's like, no, get back on track, Kelphus. And I like it because he doesn't tolerate my crap, bro. So that's like, so anyways, I just talked a lot, but I'm fired up. Read Atomic Habits by James Clear too, and Traction, Get a Grip, and Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman. What the Heck is EOS by Gino Wickman. Who Not How by Dan Sullivan, and read all those books. And right now I'm reading the Vision Driven, Vivid Vision by what's the guy, the founder of 1-800-GOT-JUNK. Read all his books too.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done talking.
No, that's all good stuff. The one thing I'll add to that is data, tracking your data. Like when you first start, especially, but at any point in your business, you should be tracking data, meaning how long does it take you to do X, Y, and Z? How long does it take you to get there? How much gas are you going to use then for the equipment, for the vehicles, if you have employees, all that, materials. Like, until you have that down pat, you need to be tracking that time, because that's now you know how much all of that is worth, and now you know how much to charge for your time. So that's, now you can start buying back your time. You know, we talk about buying back your time in the books and everything, but if you're not charging enough, then you're not making enough for you to actually buy anything worth buying to buy back your time. So a lot of people wait long to optimize their time and to hire this person or that person to upgrade this equipment or that equipment. They're driving around in a beat up pickup truck because that's all they can afford, because they're not figuring out how to dial in the money that's coming in, like how much to charge, why, what does all that mean? And, you know, is all the money coming into one account and you're just looking at it and you think you have all this money and you just start spending stuff? Like, I have all of my accounts broken down. I use the money flow system, and I have every single account account all of my money accounted for with different accounts so that I know exactly how much money I have. So if I do need to purchase something, I can just look in the account and see if I have enough money for it, as well as for payroll and taxes and all the different categories that I have in there. That's an example of creating a boundary for my money. So this way I know exactly what's coming and where it's going. And to also answer someone else's question with scheduling, they said, how do you plan out your schedule and how do you decide what to prioritize? Well, first and foremost, you prioritize your current customers, right? They're the ones that end up getting, I don't know about you, but I back in the day would push my customers off to the next day or the next week to chase all the new customers, right? Because my existing customers are loyal and understanding and patient. And unfortunately, that's taking advantage of them. And you don't want to lose your current customers. If they're good, you want to keep them. If they're bad, you shouldn't have them anyway. So don't push them to the side to get the new work. Make sure you prioritize your current work and then see what time you have left and fill in, back to what Keith was saying, fill in those time slots with the new work and have those boundaries. Oh, well, then there's next week or next week. Like Keith's booked out till June. Like it is what it is. If there's a cancellation or a way he can squeeze something in here and there, that's that. But he's got boundaries, I'm sure. He's not going to miss dinner every single night. He's not going to, do all these things just to get that extra dollar, because at the end of the day, what is it all worth? Like who is that hurting, right? And I know all of you know that and you want to grow, and there's a lot of people under $1 million, and that's in my sweet spot. And we talk about all that kind of stuff at different events that I go to and events that I create. Like Profit Accelerator Live is coming up in Richmond, Virginia, actually June 26th and 27th, and we're going to be spending 2 days. Me, John Pajak, Profits with Pajak podcast, and
Wait, let me get my
Eric
calendar.
Triplett.
June 26th and 20 what?
27th, June 26th and 27th, Richmond, Virginia, at the Omni Richmond Hotel. It's going to be a really impactful 2 days where the three of us, me, Eric Triplett, the pond digger, out in California, coming over here on the East Coast. He's had a multi-million-dollar pond construction and maintenance business. He is an expert in sales and closing high-ticket sales, selling high-ticket sales, and speaking to premium customers. So that's going to be helpful. And we have John Pajak from the Profits with Pajak podcast, really all about breaking down your numbers and getting granular. And of course, I'm going to go deep into how to figure out your schedule, how to plan your schedule. I'm literally going to, in real time, help people in the audience, help people at the event attending, break down your schedule. Like, what are your priorities? Now let's fill them in. Like, you work backwards from there, right? Like, I have my priorities, you have yours. Let's fill in the slots. We only have 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week. Let's figure it out. Start with the priorities, personal priorities, then professional priorities. So I'm going to be breaking all that down, as well as the money flow system and how to put boundaries around your money so that you always have money. You'll never be broke, as a joke. And so anyway, and also we're going to have the landscaping bookkeeper there is going to be stopping by, and Joey Coberly, he's going to be there, and some of the team, and they're going to be helping you like figure out like what to do with this money as well from a bookkeeping standpoint. That's something that people lack hiring. You try to navigate all this on your own. And it's like, man, you need a bookkeeper, right? So don't wait so long for all this stuff. But anyway, ProfitAcceleratorLive.com. I'm sure Keith will put it in all the notes. And if you use code
Spell it
Keith
in the chat, dog.
There you go. ProfitAcceleratorLive.com.
ACCELLERATOR.
1L.
1L.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of the word bookkeeping is BOKKEE.
I can't even.
BOOKKEE. All right. Profit.
ProfitAcceleratorLive.com.
Accelerator, ACCELER?
Yes. ATOR.
Yeah, that's right.
Live.com. Yeah.
Live.
But if you guys use code Keith, you'll get 50% off the tickets. So go ahead and check that out. Yeah. 50% off with code Keith. Bro, you're here first because you guys are on the podcast and the live stream. So get them while it's hot. Also, there is buy one get one, which the 50% doesn't apply to that, but it already is a buy one get one. So if you're bringing your spouse or you're bringing your business partner, you can get 2 tickets for the price of 1. So you really can't miss out. I will guarantee that you will never think about profits in your business the same way after attending Profit Accelerator Live, because we're going to spend 2 days just focusing on that, as well as having a good time in Richmond, downtown Richmond in the summer. Please don't even get me started. There's water everywhere. We're going to have a good time. So
That's epic. Love it.
yes,
Profit
sir.
Accelerator, ProfitAcceleratorLive.com in Richmond, Virginia, June 26th and 27th.
There you go.
Perfect.
Omni Richmond. It's going to be fun time.
Event. I was at your
2 days.
other event and it was amazing, bro. I learned so much. So
I appreciate that. That's my goal, is to keep providing as much value as I can, because as you and I grow and the industry grows and everyone that's in the community grows, like there's got to be more ways for us to grow the value that we provide as well. It's above and beyond this kind of content. Like, there's only so much you can get from here. You have to actually go to in-person events, so that you can actually network and learn conversations, as well as learn from the people presenting information on at the front of the room. So that there's levels to it, right? There's always levels, and you can only get so far with what you know so far. So you got to keep moving forward.
Love it, bro. Thanks so much for being on the Untrapped podcast. Real quick, Austin Douglas from Ditch the Itch is dropping knowledge in the comments. Sorry I didn't get to it. We had a tight show. And I see Johnny in the comments and Zach. So much appreciate all you guys. Thank you for listening. We just crossed 1 million downloads on the Untrapped podcast. I got to jump off here because we're jumping on the Untrapped Alliance private group, where we go live every other Wednesday night and we break down very cool stuff in your business. So go to ProfitAcceleratorLive.com. Check out Naylor's event. Thanks so much, Naylor. Peace.
Thanks, guys. Deuces.
Later, everybody.